Hey guys, welcome to Mac and CAD. So in today's video, I want to run through the interface of AutoCAD for Mac 2018. Now I find that a lot of people, when they're coming over from the Windows side and they're kind of trying out the Mac side, the biggest hurdle that they have to overcome is really just getting used to the interface. They're used to the Windows interface, which hasn't changed very much in the past 17, 18 years, give or take, but the AutoCAD for Mac interface is pretty different when you're first looking at it. But I think you'll find after today's video that most of the components that you're looking for are there. They've just been maybe moved around a little bit and they look a little bit different. So let's get to it. So at first glance, I know that this interface is a little bit jarring if you're coming over from the Windows side, but I promise most of the stuff that you're looking for is actually right there in front of you. It's just maybe placed or maybe looks a little bit different. So we're going to run through this sort of starting at the top, and we'll run through this in a counterclockwise kind of a fashion. So across the top of the screen, we find the menu bar. Now this is just like the old menu bar that we had in the Windows interface. We have things like File for new, save, open, print, and so forth. We've got Edit for cut, copy, and paste. View to change our zoom, panning, regen, and all that's found there. Insert, blocks, interface, references, and so forth. Format for dimension styles, leader styles, units, and such. Under our tools, that's where we're going to find things like the UCS tools, draw order. It's also where we're going to get to the drafting settings, and we also have some special express tools here, things like convert text to mtext, replacing blocks, super hatch, and all that other fun stuff. Basic draw tools, lines, circles, and so forth. Our dimension tools, again, dimension styles, reassociate dimensions. All of our modify tools are going to be found here. Erase, copy, mirror, offset, move, and all that. Window is a little bit different. This is where we're going to go to actually control what parts of the interface we see and don't see. So we have the command line that's down here across the bottom of the screen. If I want to turn that off, all I have to do is click here, and we can see the command line goes away. I'll go back. Let's turn that back on. There it is there. We also have access to the help menu here. So if you ever aren't sure where a command is here in the menu bar, all you have to do is actually start to type it in. You'll see the menu item, and if you hover over it, it'll actually show you exactly in the menu where that command is. So that's always rather helpful. So moving across here to the left side, we have the tool sets. So the tool sets is kind of like the ribbon on the Windows interface. So the ribbon is obviously horizontally across the top of the screen. The tool sets are vertically along the left side of the screen. But if you notice, they look fairly similar. We've got some big buttons, we've got some smaller buttons, we have drop downs if we click and hold that we can access. So we have most of the same features that we would find in the ribbon, but this actually has a couple added benefits. One, we can actually collapse or expand these to kind of streamline our tool sets just a little bit so we can focus on the commands that we want to while we're doing a particular task. We also have the option of reordering these really easily. Click on the little icon down here, and I can grab, let's say I want to use text and put that up towards up the top. All I have to do is drag it up, and we can see it happens in real time. Now, if you're looking for some screen real estate, we also have the option of actually making this entire tool set a little bit narrower, and we can use this icon right here. So if we click that, we can see it actually collapses or kind of condenses the entire tool set into a much smaller space. You can hover over it and zoom up or down, just rolling your wheel up or down in order to find all the commands, or again, you can minimize each one of these to focus on the commands that you're looking for. So we have the drafting tool sets here. We also have the modeling tool sets just by clicking on the tab here at the top. Moving across the bottom of the screen, we have the layout tab, so we can switch back and forth between our layouts. You can also right click on these and rename, duplicate, or delete them, and you can also drag and drop these in order to move around them. We have the command line here in the middle of the bottom of the screen. In my opinion, the most important part of the interface in Windows or Mac. We can simply hover over this to make it a little bit wider. If we hover over the top, we can add a couple lines. Personally, I like to see at least 3 lines above the current active command line here. Across the right corner of the screen, we have this status bar, and again, we have all of our icons here. So we have like the grid, drafting settings, object snap settings, and so forth that we can turn on or off. If we want to see additional icons down here, we can click on the little gear here, and then we have all of the icons that we can display. And keep in mind that the check marks here, they're not actually turning that feature on or off. They're just controlling whether or not we see that feature, the icon, down here in the status bar. And it's the fact that it's on or off is controlled down here only in the status bar. Across the right hand of your screen here, we'll find the palettes. Now there are three sets of palettes here. We have the layers and properties palette, which is kind of combined into one here. We have the reference manager palette, and then we have the content center. Now content center is kind of like the tool palettes that you find in the Windows version. You can go through and add in a bunch of different blocks that you can access. It's also where you can go find things like the built-in blocks or the complementary blocks that Autodesk provides. Now again, you have the three tabs here, so they're kind of taking up the same real estate, but if you want to pull these out, you can click on the little expand button here, and that'll actually pull that palette out so you can work on it, do what you need to, maybe put it on a second display if you like, or you can click on the icon again, and it'll put it right back up where it was. Now we talked about screen real estate over here with the tool panel, the tool sets, but over here we can also make these a little bit smaller to save some screen real estate as well. We can use this little condense icon right there, and now all of our palettes have been turned into just these separate areas. Now they'll stay condensed or collapsed until we put our cursor over it, and then they'll automatically pop out. We can do the work that we need to, and as soon as we move our cursor off, they'll fade away and get out of our way. So really rather handy. There's some additional features here with the properties, like adding custom properties and so forth. We'll get into that in another video. Across the top of the screen here, we have all of our open drawings, the drawing tabs here. If I want to create a new drawing here, I'll click on the plus and do that, and now I have two different drawings open I can work on at the same time. I can simply click and drag in order to reorder these. I can also right click on these in order to do a new drawing, open a drawing, save all the available drawings. I can close all the available drawings. I can also open the file location, and this is really rather handy. This will open up a new Finder window to the exact location of that particular file. This is great if you're working in a project and you need to get to some other files that are also related to this particular project. Across the top, just above that, is the toolbar. So this is a lot like the quick access toolbar that you find on the Windows interface. So we have, open, save, undo, print. We've got match properties and quick select and so forth. And you can right click over that, click on customize the toolbar, and you can add in your own commands or whatever groups of commands that you want to add to have access up here in the toolbar. And that pretty much does it for the interface of AutoCAD for Mac 2018. Well, I hope you guys found that video useful, running through the interface of AutoCAD for Mac 2018. Again, it's not quite so different, just some pieces that have been moved around and look a little bit differently. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that other button seems to work as well. Click on the subscribe button so you know about the next videos coming out for AutoCAD for Mac and drafting and my tech reviews. Check down in the description. There's a link down there for a free 30-day trial of lynda.com, where I have an entire course built around AutoCAD for Mac if you're interested in learning more. There's also dozens of other videos, hundreds on different CAD programs and so forth down there, so feel free to go down and click on that link and get signed up and check it out. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.